You know, as a species, we love to build. We create these massive, colossal structures, monuments of concrete and steel that we see as symbols of our progress. But here's what most people don't realize. What if the true story of these buildings isn't about what they create, but about what they consume and discard on a cosmic scale? This is the hidden story behind the real cost of everything. Just take a look at this number, $1.5 billion. Between 2004 and 2010, that's how much public tax money went into building professional sports stadiums right here in the US. It's an absolutely staggering figure, right? And it's almost always justified with these big promises of economic growth and jobs for the local community. But that dollar amount, that's just the tip of the iceberg. It's the cost that we can see, the number that shows up on a spreadsheet. The real cost, though, is so much deeper. It isn't written in dollars and cents. It's written into the fundamental laws of the universe. So the real question is, what are we all missing? To really understand this hidden cost, we've got to look beyond economics for a minute and dive into a little physics. Turns out there's a universal law that governs every single thing that happens, from a star exploding light years away to you just making a cup of coffee. And it has profound, and I mean profound, implications for how we build our world. It's called the second law of thermodynamics. Now, that sounds complicated, but at its core, it's a really simple, universal truth. Nothing is 100% efficient. Every single time you do something, anything that uses energy, a chunk of that energy just escapes. It turns into useless, low-quality heat. Now, that energy doesn't vanish, it just becomes disordered. And here's the kicker. It can never, ever be used to do work again. Probably the easiest way to think about this is to call it nature's heat tax. It's a fee. It's totally unavoidable. Every time you convert energy to do something useful, like building that stadium or even just driving your car, the universe takes its cut. And you can never get that energy back. It's a permanent one-way transaction. So this shows us the entire economic process when we look at it through that lens of physics. Scientists have a name for it, throughput. We start over on the left with what are called low entropy resources. Now, entropy is just a fancy word for disorder. So low entropy means highly ordered, concentrated, valuable stuff. Think iron ore, timber, oil. Then we run all that stuff through our economic processes in the middle. And what comes out the other side? High entropy waste, disordered, diluted, useless pollution, and heat. It's a one-way street, from valuable order to irreversible disorder. Okay, so let's connect this back. How does a universal law of physics apply to something as ordinary as a football stadium? Let's forget the financial reports for a second and look at it the way a physicist would. What is a stadium, really? First, let's just get the money argument out of the way. The conventional thinking is that these things are great for the economy. But decades of economic research, like this huge finding from the Journal of Economic Perspectives, shows that those promised economic booms from new stadiums, they almost never actually happen. The financial benefit is basically a mirage. So, if that economic return is so tiny, what does the physical cost look like? Well, imagine this whole circle represents all the high-quality matter and energy, all that low-entropy stuff that goes into building and running a stadium. That tiny little slice? That's the questionable economic benefit we hear so much about. And the rest of it, the giant part of the circle, that's the irreversible conversion of those valuable resources into high-entropy waste. That's the real physical cost that never, ever shows up on a spreadsheet. And this is where it all clicks into place. From a physics perspective, a stadium isn't an engine of economic growth at all. It's an engine of entropy. It is a massive machine designed specifically to accelerate the transformation of valuable, ordered resources into disordered, unusable waste. And it does it on a truly staggering scale. So, does it have to be this way? Are we stuck on this one-way path to disorder? Absolutely not. For billions of years, a far more sophisticated and successful economy has been running right under our feet, and it has completely mastered the art of managing this universal tax. I mean, the contrast here could not be more stark. Our economy is linear. We take resources, we make something, and then we throw it away. It all depends on that throughput, that one-way flow straight to a landfill. Nature's economy, on the other hand, is completely circular. It runs on recycling. You could say we specialize in creating disorder, while nature has perfected the art of managing it. And who are the brilliant CFOs running this natural economy? Well, for the most part, they're insects. Take the dung beetle. These guys are master recyclers. They take animal waste that would otherwise pollute the land and they turn it right back into fertilizer. Then you've got dermestid beetles. They're the cleanup crew, making sure every last valuable nutrient in a dead organism gets returned to the system. And fly larvae? They're conversion specialists, turning mountains of organic waste into high-value protein. Every single one is an essential worker in a system that literally wastes nothing. And this brings us to the fundamental, unbreakable rule of nature's economy. There is no landfill. There isn't even a concept of waste. Every single output, from a fallen leaf to an animal's body, is a crucial input for another part of the system. It's the perfect circular model. So what happens when our linear, wasteful economic model starts to overwhelm and crush nature's circular, efficient one? Well, we start losing our most essential workers. And the scary part is, most of us haven't even noticed it's happening. Take a hard look at this number, -50%. Now, this isn't a stock market crash or some gloomy economic forecast. This represents a biological loss so vast, it's happening almost entirely in silence. That's the estimated decline in the total mass of insects on our planet since just 1970. Those same master economists we were just talking about, the recyclers, the cleanup crews, they're vanishing at an absolutely terrifying rate. And it's happening in large part because of the high entropy waste, the pesticides, the pollution, the habitat loss that's constantly spewing from our linear system. But there is another way. Visionary thinkers, like the economist Herman Daly, have laid out a blueprint for a steady-state economy. The goal isn't just endless material growth, because physics tells us that's literally impossible on a finite planet. The goal, instead, is to maintain our well-being with the smallest, most efficient flow of resources possible. It's about slowing down that one-way street from order to disorder. It's about finally learning to live with the laws of physics, not fighting against them. Which brings us right back to where we started. The next time you see a proposal for a new billion-dollar stadium, maybe the first question we should ask isn't what's the economic return, but what's the entropic cost? Maybe it's finally time we started paying a little less attention to our own blueprints and a lot more to the blueprints of the beetle.
Thanks for watching. Support BioVellum by liking, subscribing, and sharing. Let's explore the secrets of nature together.